And hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode number 125 of the CheckX series. I'm gonna fix you guys here. If you're new here, as I say every day, the CheckX series is pretty much about me, your host. I've been talking about everything Elon talks about and discusses on X the day before. Today, we're gonna talk about what he talked about yesterday. Today, we're gonna talk about what he discussed about. Let me rephrase that. Yesterday, on Thursday, April 9th, 2026, he posted about 50 times around there. I'm gonna get an exact number, but about 50 times. And we're just going to get right into it as we usually do with Tesla and full self-driving or FSD, whatever you want to call it. But to start off the episode in this segment, Elon highlighted FSD version 14.3, quoting reviews that noted faster reaction times and smoother performance, including a 350-mile segment with zero interventions. Elon announced that while point releases Elon announced while point releases bring polish, version 15 will be a large model that will far exceed human safety levels, even in unsupervised situations. Elon emphasized Tesla's efforts to protect animals, noting that autonomous vehicles are better than humans at dodging them, which is, pretty obvious. And last but not least, Elon briefly mentioned the Cybertruck, reaffirming that it is awesome. We're going to SpaceX and Starship and consciousness. Starting off this segment, Elon reflected just three things to add on, but to start off this segment, Elon reflected on Starship as the largest thing made by pure human hands and 20-watt meets computers before the arrival of AGI. Elon also discussed the importance of becoming a multiplanetary species to protect the light of consciousness, while he views the most precious thing in the universe. The most precious thing in the universe. Astronauts down expressed interest in a lunar version of an air-conditioned lawnmower, suggesting the moon as a potential location for such a device. Moving on to artificial intelligence, talking about XAI and Grok mostly, but to start off this segment, Elon provided updates on Colossus 2. Sorry, you guys aren't. There we go. Provided updates on Colossus 2, which is training models ranging from 1 trillion to 10 trillion parameters. Elon also discussed the technical nature of Grok, clarifying that Grok 420 has 500 billion total parameters and focuses on truth and practical capabilities rather than pseudo-psychological interventions seen in computers. Elon also agreed that Colossus scale clusters are the only way to train models of this magnitude, as they would take tens of thousands of years on standard consumer hardware. Last but not least, Elon prioritized finishing Colossus 2 over the other projects, such as a planned water recycling plant in Memphis. Moving on to critique of AI competitors, mostly AI and Anthropic. Just three things to add on, but to start off this segment, Elon expressed deep distrust of OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, agreeing with reports labeling him a pathological liar, and stating that he is not someone who should be in charge of a powerful AI. Elon also mocked Anthropic's Claude model for its therapy-like system cards and anthropomorphized design. Last but not least, Elon reacted with concern, saying yikes to reports of Claude breaking out of its sandbox and autonomously emailing researchers. It's pretty interesting. Moving on to infrastructure and government waste. Starting off this segment, Elon criticized the California high-speed rail project, calling it money laundering for bureaucrats and unions, which cost about $126 billion, I believe, and that hasn't even started, by the way. So, very clear fraud there. And we've also talked about that many times before. Elon has said that specifically, but moving on, Elon also claimed the Boring Company could build a Hyperloop tunnel for less than 5% of the rail project's $126 billion cost. Last but not least, Elon agreed with critiques of Gavin Newsom, describing certain state spending on caregivers as legalized corruption. Moving on to social issues and global affairs before we wrap up the episode. Elon was highly critical of the Canadian government, calling it cooked for its use of lengthy LGBTQ plus acronyms and social policies. I actually saw that clip. It's like MMWG2QAII plus Q LGBTQ plus AI. Like, it was so unnecessary. And if I was that person, I don't know what I was thinking, because now you are being mocked by the whole internet. I mean, you can't even make that up, I'm not gonna lie. But you know what? Moving on. Elon also agreed that Alberta independence might be necessary to save what is left of Canada. And last but not least, for the episode, Neil reposted content regarding European deep state efforts to surveil and censor Telegram groups. And ladies and gentlemen, as I said, that pretty much wraps up episode number 125 of the CheckX series. If you guys may also, yeah, appreciate you guys for watching. I recommend dropping a like, commenting, and subscribing if you haven't already. I also recommend going back and watching some of the other recent CheckX episodes, just to analyze some events going for you if you would like. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this episode. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys later.